Yeah, what I realize I need to do is I need to go back and edit those like intro sequences and have like a long kind of much longer like sound fade at the beginning and the end, and then they'll work out okay.
Yeah.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of this is just like figuring out how to get, how do we get a show like this to actually work? This is cool. I'm gonna like try something here. Let's see, like radius. There we go. We can do like like you and I like side by side thing. Except then the kind of names look a little weird. Hey, I got to get the like curve so it's not too bad. Anyway, the so yeah, I mean today like it's kind of like what's going on with automating BDR, SDR, and then you've had a bunch of different thoughts. Like you're still in the kind of like not even like building a POC, but like
Well, I'm doing a
you're
pseudocode.
not into the
I'm
tech.
in the pseudocode right now. So you got to think of me as kind of an old-fashioned software engineer. That before he actually got the gun out to do some code slinging, I sat down and do top-down structured design on pseudocoding the design. So I'm kind of in the design phase that has both an angle of both cost as well as efficiency for that design. So I'm you might call it pseudocode because what I'm doing is pseudocoding using different tools to design the approach. And I shared some of that
So
approach.
you actually have tools that you're already starting to use.
No, what I mean by pseudocoding, I'm not. See, if you ever pseudocoded in your life, all it is you type up English-like language to develop logic flow and workflows, and you design that as
Right.
your kind of your approach. It's kind of an outdated term because nobody does it anymore. But that's what I'm kind of doing before I get the orchestration and tools and the JSON and all.
No, I mean I like to do that with my maps. Like I like to visualize, kind of like what does this thing look like? And but yeah, I already built pieces of mine because I had the map and I was like, okay, like let me actually try some of this. And so I built pieces of it and I launched it for my influencer and then started going down the rabbit hole on a whole yeah, like a whole other different thing. But I actually already got a lead. Yeah, like I ran it, and that's the thing is I ran my outbound, and I literally only sent 10 messages, I think, and I got a lead.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and then it's like now I need to go back and say, okay, like let me take that real data, and it integrates back. I don't. Yeah, I might actually just run this real quick. Um, while we're talking. You have something you wanted to share,
Well,
right?
I want you to focus on your mechanics. What I call the mechanics. You're putting tools together and you're trying to get them to talk to each other in layman's terms. And you're trying to mix. And you can make it happen over time with the iterative process. But I'm also you're kind of experimenting. You're kind of in a laboratory mode. I'm more in the business mode, looking at how to understand this and how to design it and how to go forward. So I have a different mindset than you do. So go ahead with.
I mean, I think a lot of it's that I built so much of this so many times already. Like I've built and rebuilt and like, you know,
I used to be a simulation design engineer for World War III. So I'm not going to brag about it. I used to be an engineer. I'm no longer an engineer. I'm just a deal guy. I'm a sales guy now. So as a sales guy, I want to learn how to get this done from a design phase and then get it done on a crawl level. So I'm learning from you in this collaboration to do that. So you're a little bit ahead of me on the just let's go in and put our feet in the water and do some skinny dipping with AI. I'm keeping my clothes.
I mean, I guess I should show my secret sauce
Yeah, go
here,
for that.
right?
In the meantime,
Why
if
is
I can
this
find the slide I want to show for the show, I'll do it. That has more of that CFO approach of what to look at and how to design this so that we can all make money with the design as well. But I'll get that to you later. Let's look at what you got it from a mechanics point of view.
yeah, it's so weird. Like my
Oh man, demos. As a sales guy, I hate demos. I've done thousands of them as a guy. But go ahead.
yeah, I mean, this is the part where I need to think about like, okay, so I ran this around Signal. That's my
Yeah.
SDR, right? And there's something I need to do. I sent this person to Zoho. I need to do like a little better job. Like I need to work out some of the mechanics. But okay, so there's this person here. So actually, I'm going to go to LinkedIn in here, and here's this guy. Okay, John Michael Pagley. Okay, so he got back to me, and then so I have to figure some of this out. So like because there's a lot more automation in this step that I can do, but I have to figure out like, okay, profiles, process. That's why I'm looking in the wrong place. Okay.
Okay.
So where is he? Okay, here he is. And I'm going to move him to the message master manually, right? Because I'm like, there's some nuance in using this tool that I need to figure out. And then I'm going to go back to the campaign runner and I'm just going to run the message master because there's like a new person in here and just see how this works. This should just go pretty quick. Oh, yeah, I think actually it's going to go away from you because this thing failed to cap. It did not scrape. Okay, so it's going to Michael here and it's going to scrape his message to me. And then while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to show you. I decided to set up for the CRM side of mine. I decided to go to Zoho.
Mm-hmm.
And
when we talk about your decisions and what you decide to do, talk about the cost benefit analysis approach. What's it cost per month? What's it cost to subscribe to it? And also the consumption rate as well. Then focus on the output of what it's going to do, what's going to drive. Why is it? What did you make? Decision making? Because when you make a decision to choose a tool, as the audience, I'm listening to you. I want to know your decision making process. How did you break down the case analysis for it from a business case point of view? Did you base it on cost? Of course you did. Did you base it on performance? Of course you did. Did you base it on capability as well in an interconnectivity with other tools? So break it down more like an engineer for me, if you could. Engineers all think about business, by the way. They're not scientists. They think about
different approaches. I mean, one of the factors, to be honest with you, is just going in.
Use that MBA you got at Western University, by the way. Try to dig that out.
Yeah, I mean, look, cost as a small business is like a huge factor, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like, I was like, okay, I need to integrate and I want to use this tool because I've used like dozens of LinkedIn automation tools and I'm like, okay, Instantly and Streak, there's all these different integrations and, Salesforce, forget it. I hate high level, Pipedrive I've used a lot. It's actually pretty good. They're all going to be about the same price, to be honest with you.
No. Always focus on the cost. When you're doing this, whether you're on a podcast or on a show, always talk about how you analyzed, how you made a decision based on cost.
Yeah, I mean, I've used so many of these, and honestly, like, cost is all about the same. I mean, for like entry level CRMs, like for a CRM license, you're probably talking 30, 40, 50 bucks a month for like the decent set of features that you need. And, so yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, okay, I'm not going to run this anymore. I'm just going to stop this. But you can see what happened. And the other thing for me was like, what's easy and functional. And like what, like, so because they're all going to cost about the same. I mean, HubSpot starter's cheaper, but then you run into all kinds of limitations and problems. I mean, there's so many factors in this, and like because I've spent it's so funny how we get that dropping in and out thing still. But yeah, I mean I've just spent so much time with these different tools. Like there's a technical component and then there's just a personal component where like I like just the kind of like simplicity, like it, because at the end of the day, like if you're gonna do, like you're not gonna be a completely AI like SDR, salesperson. You're going to have to do some manual tasks. You're going to have to look at the data. You have to look at your contacts. And I feel like Zoho actually has like a really simple interface. It's like easy to add custom fields and like customize the layouts.
What is Zoho? What is it? What is it? What is it?
Zoho CRM. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you're not familiar with Zoho, like
CRM, or is it something else? Is it?
Well, no, Zoho's been around forever as a company. Like they have like probably like they're like a almost like a like everything business suite kind of company that's been they started there. It's a company out of India, and they started with this just like the super low price like entry, and they actually have one of the really good free like CRMs, and then they have like BigIn, which is like another like lower functionality than Zoho CRM, but like simpler kind of. But I like Zoho because it's just like the thing for the CRM for me is like you need like a large database. You need to be able to like easily configure like the kind of different custom fields and information about your contacts. And I just like I've spent a lot of time with like like I've probably used 20 different CRMs and I easily have gotten pretty familiar with. And I just like Zoho. I like that you can do the dark mode, so that's like cool for me. And but the key to this whole thing is
help you your show is when you pick a tool, pick it based on cost, performance, usability. Just think like you're an analyst when you analyze.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like to me, it like the first thing is it has to be one of the tools that integrates with Linked Helper, right?
Good. That's
because I don't want to write this custom integration, and they're integrate. I've integrated Linked Helper with
pre-built integration with LinkedIn as LinkedIn Helper. So got an authorized programmable interface already with LinkedIn Helper. Is that number one reason?
Yeah, that's like a initial requirement. Like
that's a mantra. You got to have that API.
Yeah. So I went here and I just said, okay, let me pick from this list, right? Which ones I want to do. It's not that many: HubSpot, Close, Pipedrive, and I a lot of times I've kind of anchored in HubSpot, but I've just kind of personally for right now for my personal use, I'm just like I don't really want to do HubSpot. And actually, the other issue with HubSpot now is their free version. You only get 1,000, what happens with HubSpot is you can pay $15 a month for the low end license, and then you go up to like a lot of money. And so unless you're like kind of gonna get into like scaling your business and have some real resources, it sort of like taps out. Like, and I just also like don't, I don't know, the last bit of work I've been doing recently for some other projects was I spent a lot of time in Zoho, and I was like, I like this. It's simple. And so I just looked through the list. Like I said, I've used Pipedrive, Salesforce. You can forget about it. Enterprise, even though they say it's easy, it is complicated. High level, I can't. I mean, people love high level, but I don't like it. I've spent plenty of time in it. Zoho CRM, Streak, haven't really used it. Instantly, kind of cold email system and Capsule. Again, I thought about it, but I'm like, I like Zoho. It's fine. It works because at the end of the day, what I was able to accomplish, and I know the other thing is you have to know that they have pretty decent APIs and check like Make and other things. Like if they have a standard, now most of these CRMs have standard connectors and everything. So for me, it took me once I got going, this is the key to the whole thing, right? Is capturing all this data, scraping it from LinkedIn, and boom, right? Like getting this information here where I say, I get this data, right? He said, thanks for reaching out. I'd like to learn more, right? So having this data in Zoho CRM is foundational to being able to do the SDR or other kind of work,
Right,
because
right.
you have to have the message history.
Now, let's walk through the process. Go to you like to draw things on a whiteboard. Go to the whiteboard. Let's tell me what Zoho is doing. Where does it start to
Yeah, it's really this instead of HubSpot. It's this section right here. It's the like it's the data repository for all the contacts and the
trying to find for signals on the best target as a company and also as a persona? What are the triggers? Talk about the triggers.
no, I'm not doing any of that, and I actually don't think. Yeah, so the thing for me, and this is like a much deeper exploration. It's like, how does this actually work? Like, how do you go find the people you want to message? And you can run processes with AI to go find this, but the actual thing is like, to me, I'm hyper focused around LinkedIn, and the truth is, like, I can just
you got you got 7,000, you got 10,000 followers and 7,000 contacts that are first connections. What are you doing to identify who to call or who to contact with an email? What happens? Is that you?
Yeah, see, I actually, that's why I was saying, I thought about it. I thought, well, is AI useful in that step?
I believe it is useful if you do it correctly.
I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are working on things, and there's like stuff like that. But I was like, look, I just went to Sales Navigator.
Well, LinkedIn's kind of upside down. Let's talk about that a little bit. LinkedIn is upside down. You start out with the persona, not the ICP. So LinkedIn helps you find out who's got a new job, who got transferred, who got promoted. There's announcements that happen on LinkedIn that come in as updates to the post, to the feed. So there's different things you can. So from an bottom up approach, we just start with the persona, then not worry about who they work for, but focus on the persona. What is it? What are you doing to find that information on LinkedIn to identify of all your contacts that are first connections, who's gotten signals that are triggers on job changes, promotions, change of project.
Yeah, I mean,
to gather intelligence on the persona, not the company, but the persona itself.
See, like, I didn't even
actually start out with ICPs first, but with LinkedIn, you kind of got to go bottom up with the persona, then focus on the persona as your target, not the ICP.
Yeah, see, I didn't actually even. Oh, here it is. I did like this one. 11 to 50 people, second degree connection, founder, CXO, shared experiences.
Any sentiments or triggers for changes?
Shared experiences posted on LinkedIn recently, North America. I took software development and IT services out because I wanted more like product companies.
Correct.
And, like about 250 people is a good set of targets for me. But, the thing is, like, it's that walk before you run, because you're like, hey, I want to program.
Well, I know you're gathering information that's based on geography and size of the headcount of the company.
Well, no, and then I've got B2B AI in my keyword right here.
Yeah, and you got a keyword. That's good. So what other keywords are you going to go track to drive your automation of this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I'm going to automate finding people, because I don't think it's automatable, like in this context.
Well, in this repository of LinkedIn, it is to some extent, because you know who's gotten new jobs. They produce. There's a way for you to data comb who's gotten new jobs in the last 90 days. Is there not?
No, yeah, you can do change jobs like that's what I'm saying. Like, the thing is,
but why are you not doing that with your tool, your AI tool, to grab that data?
The AI piece of this for me that is going to be valuable. Like, I don't really like. in practical terms, like if you're like, hey, I just want to go find 10 high quality people a day. I mean, first of all, you can't
You can do
automate
that
something.
manually. You don't need an AI tool for that.
That's
You can
what
do
I'm
it.
saying. You don't need AI for that. And you can't automate something you can't figure out yourself. So for me, I'm like, look, I need to go figure out what the signals are. Like I have no data and no frame of reference to know who's good or not good. Like, look, if you take a process where you're like, hey, I'm feeding in thousands of people every day into a big sales engine, and I'm going to read
Well,
lots of data and news.
Apollo, a lot of that data. Now let's go back to Apollo, which has a repository for all those levels of triggers and signals to harvest. I'm asking
No,
you
it doesn't.
to harvest data that gives you insights on triggers on who would buy from you, on what you have to
Not
sell.
really. Apollo doesn't really have that. Apollo just has scraped most of what Apollo has is data. They have some signals and some intent
They
stuff.
got some low level. They got some fundamental ones, not real deep and broad like Zoom
It's
info.
not Apollo mostly scrapes LinkedIn and does waterfall enrichment to go get their business email addresses. That's the main thing in Apollo. And there's a little bit at the end of the day, though, it's the same thing in Apollo. You've got to go in and really kind of work those filters. And I think over time, if you have a lot of data and you start to see like who's buying in a higher volume environment where you have a lot of data, you can use probably signals. But for something like me, where I'm like, hey, I'm going after, relatively high ticket, relationship oriented sales, and I could send 14 messages or 10 messages and get a reply. If I do that every day,
Are you combing built with or other tools that check the
I mean,
text
I've done all of that in the past, but
Yeah.
it all depends on, it's like what, and you have to try like, okay, today I tried this today. To me, the value in the SDR BDR part of this is like, is the BDR component to me is driven by getting this data and then being able to follow up with people and send intelligent sequences after I've already found them. The actual finding of people after I really thought through it for my process and what I'm doing is actually like it's not value added to go have somebody else do that. And I started thinking about it, I'm like, wow, I could get super targeted. Like I could go find specific people at specific companies where I want to use their product or I do use their product, like Zoho or Link Helper. And so for me, the targeting is not where the AI provides value. What happens, and I've done this so many times, that finding people is not the problem.
I kind of would disagree. I would disagree with you. You can talk to thousands of people and do like a conversion rate less than 3% or 2%, and if that's what you want to do. But the focus of AI is to increase the conversion rate based on laser focus on triggers and signals and insights that they can gather.
Yeah, but that maybe. I mean, you could set that up, but again, I think that's what I'm saying. For me personally,
it depends on your offerings.
How are you going to know that until you try it yourself, though? Like you'll never figure out. Like you can't get AI to do something
manually. I don't need AI. Salespeople and marketing people do this manually they do it by hand without AI and without.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think they should.
They do it anyway. They do it anyway based on who they know. Well, let's talk about who you know. Yeah, I know this guy just got a new job. I'm gonna call him in about a week. I got a business card at a trade show.
No, I try to go when I do these. You just do some smart filtering and say
you don't always follow up. What I'm trying to talk about is targeted selling, targeted marketing that breeds targeted marketing.
Yeah, but how is AI AI doesn't, to me, for me, AI isn't going to be helping me. I mean, there may be some kind of AI news scraping or
a researcher. What I had up on my screen a week or two ago is Sarah's function is to drive insights to who to contact, what company and what person to contact based on insights.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. There's tons of tools out there and there's tons of frameworks for that. That's the Signal piece of it, actually, is like, hey, go out and find 100 people for me.
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. How do you know? How do you, until you do it yourself, right? See, that's the problem. You're like, hey, AI, go, this off and on thing is horrible.
Tell me your vision of Sarah, because I have a different vision of Sarah than you do. So tell me more about your vision of Sarah.
Well, I don't know because what I'm saying is I don't think you can have AI do something for you that you don't know how to do yourself. That you haven't
I,
figured out.
well, I disagree because all people that practice a trade, whether it's whatever trade it is, whether it's accounting or whether it's marketing or sales, they all have practices, standard operating procedures and practices. And AI can actually drive automation and intelligence as well into those.
No, of course, but if you're like, hey, I want to go market a new I want to market to an audience that I haven't marketed to before, right? I don't really know. And I don't know the signal. Like if that's what I said, if you have a ton of data and you have a team of salespeople and you've been running a process for 6 months or a year or 3 years or 10 years, then you can go back, look at all that data and say, okay, tell me which people perform better and use all this other kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't care about that. All I care about is getting marketing qualified leads that turn into sales qualified
Yeah,
leads.
that's what I'm saying. I could just go into LinkedIn and just create searches and just automatically scrape the. I already see what I did was I went
You could have
here.
done that with Navigator here to some
No, I
extent,
did do that, and I scraped all of those people. I got
which is
231.
good. But what do you know about these people and their companies other than what you had on the Navigator? What
Well, what
other
do you
data?
mean? They fit my search criteria. That's all I need to know.
What is your search for criteria again? The size of business, the location of the business, the
Yeah,
role and
let's go
title of
back
the
to, hold on.
individual, and then what else?
Yeah, and you can try
They're not in the technology of software.
second degree connection, shared experiences, posted on LinkedIn recently.
Shared experiences is a good one.
North America, not in software development or consulting, and that's it. I mean, like to
What
me,
drives the urgency to buy from you right now, based on what you know about them? It's
no,
probably
there's no you. Like you can't, you're not going to find that. Like, go pay.
I
You can.
disagree. There are tools out there and data repositories that are building that.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah. If you want to go spend all the money on it and do that,
that's
that's what I'm saying.
the
You
problem
can't.
is ZoomInfo has it as one of the best products out there for
Yeah,
that.
I know, but how much money is your Zoom? If you want to
It's
spend,
enterprise level pricing. It's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars for
I know.
companies.
Yes, that you're
Well,
not
what I'm
even
saying
in.
is that there are smaller microcosms of
No,
smaller
you're
tools.
not even in a you don't have a viable model to pay for that. You know,
Well,
nobody who's spending $200 a month can afford that kind of data. Even things like there are tools out there. There's a tool that I called Freckle, right?
yeah.
And what you do is you still have to load in people. I mean, you can do all the look. I'll go do this later. Like at some point in time, I'll say like, okay, I'm going to engineer some kind of like
You're
little
doing the
AI bot.
foundational things, just getting this going off of LinkedIn as your foundation. So
Because
you're
it's
not going to
you're
focus
like,
on.
hey, go find 50 people. It doesn't like why do I need AI to do that? I could just go find 50 people that meet a certain criteria because that's like and then down the road if I want to create
AI,
like an agent.
automation AI can do that while you're going off and finding your next 100 people.
Well, no, like here's a good one. Like Dinah's doing some of this too, and she's like doing more like manual research. Okay, here would be an example where you could use AI, right? I'm like,
Right.
hey, I want to focus on LinkedIn Sales Nav. I want to use LinkedIn to reach people, but what I want to do is I want to focus on, you know, like, you know, I want to focus on, let's say I want only AI startups, right? You're not going to be able to find that easily in Sales Navigator or LinkedIn. So you have to do these much more like complicated things, like go to groups or like search, do like a Google search, and then you could scrape all of the AI startup companies like on a page somewhere, and then match that up to LinkedIn, and then pull in the right people. Like there's all these things that I'll probably do down the road for like, and then maybe some of that I'll say, hey, I'll build that into my process.
Right.
But like that to like, I don't need that to get started. My issue is because when you do just even what I did right now, I'm like, I sent, okay, like
No,
I sent
okay. Your foundation is kind of what you might call foundational, where you're focused on
9 messages and I got a
probably no
reply.
sentiments, or you're just talking about grabbing people off your network of second degree and first degree network that fit a certain criteria that you set up. So you got some
Well, they're not in my network. They're out of my
out of your
network.
network by 1 degree. So they know people that you know that are first connections. It's
The goal is to try to find a search that's
colleges, alma maters, backgrounds, and so on.
yeah, the goal is to find something that and to get a relatively small group of people, because you're only going to be able to send, I mean, I can only send 20 messages a day to people I don't know or whatever. So you're like, that's why I'm sort of
talk about the agent, the AI agent. What's the AI agent going to do to automate the business development outreach?
Yeah, no, the part to me that is the most significant, and that's why you have to have the messaging integration and the data integration right here.
Can you blow that?
Because,
can you blow the screen up? Because I cannot read that very well. If you can blow that up, that white space.
Can I? That's a good question. I think I can zoom in.
Can you just do it with a flick of the pencil? Maybe I can do it on my side.
It's weird. I can't. I mean, I can zoom in.
I got it. I wasn't able to read it because it was a small part of it. Hi, John. Since I've noticed the investment banking plays in the B2B arena, I thought you might be open to ideas. I'm reaching out because I just released my Signal Influencer launch package. It's designed specifically for B2B AI marketers and founders who need to get their product in front of the right buyers without the usual corporate marketing fluff. We help you leverage authentic voice to create actual signal in the market, not just noise. You can check this out, the details here at this URL. This sounds like the kind of transaction you want to look for. Well, let's chat. Go, Ben. Let's go to that website. Take me to the website. I want to see what your insight is going to drive there.
I think it's actually broken.
This is an insight engine. That's kind of your insight as a gift to give to John. So they'll want to meet with you, or at least.
No, this is just my page where I'm going to try to sell him one of my packages.
Okay.
And I broke it because I decided to move everything.
So what does this do for John? What would this do? Are you selling these packages or some other product or software you're selling to him or a bot?
No, I'm just right now. My goal is to sell 2 or 3 of these launch packages.
Yeah, okay.
To
get 1,500 core offering for this web. So he might look at this and what is the so that's what you're driving toward this page. And then
it's going to take a lot of work before I get people buying this directly from the page, right? So his response is, "Thanks for reaching out. I'd like to learn more." Okay,
good. That's good.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I don't know if these numbers will hold up.
This is Go Ben. This comes from you, but what agent was it? Signal? What's the name of your agent?
No, there's nothing.
Nothing.
No, forget. That's what I'm saying. You cannot. Like trying to apply AI to something that you don't know how to do already and isn't already in place and operating, it will never work. What you have to do is you start the process and then you say, okay, I'm working on this. And the things that you can't see, here's the thing. I have blown up my own pipeline and other people's pipeline over and over again, right? The amount of responses, the problem for me, which is where the big problem is right here. Okay. It's the intelligent engagement, right? Because now I got to get back to
most of my time with research myself to find out what is the intelligent engagement. And what I've learned,
it's like, okay,
gift of knowledge, gift of practices or gift.
Yeah. And I sent messages to 9 people. One of them replied.
So let me consult with you just briefly. Rather than send them to your website, why don't you send them to some sort of marketing landing page talking about the pain of getting the message out?
No, I mean, I could. I just, like I said, I wanted to get started, and I just was like, I want to go.
Or come up with an audit of how they currently market through LinkedIn.
I mean, I could, but I just, like I said, it worked. I mean, okay, go send 9 messages and get a lead.
Well, you get a lead, and then you got to get 10 more of them and get a conversion. But what I'm saying is,
no, I mean, this guy right here, I'm going to say, like what I'm saying is, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I can get, for every 9 people I send a message to, if I get somebody to respond like that, then I mean, what else do I need to do? Right? I'm good. Like all the rest will work itself out. I'm fine. I have no problem. Right?
Well, it depends. Depends on the.
Well, I mean, I've got other work to do. I need to follow up with him. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen is, I'm telling you, if you do the front end right, I'm going to have so many people that want to have conversations with me that I can't follow up with them all. I can't keep track of it, and I don't follow up, and I don't. That's where the problem is, right?
Right.
I mean, this guy's already
to try to take that admin from you and
That's the issue, right? So that's why I need the data in the CRM so then I can read the CRM and say,
you're really going after the bottom of the funnel or the middle of the funnel. You're going to do the
now
human.
it's
As a human, you're going to
it's
drive the
now
top.
I'm going after top middle, right?
Well, yeah, true. But I mean, ultimately, that's the end game. But you're kind of playing with the top, so you can feed the middle to the agent to see how they can help you. Is what I'm hearing from you.
On the BDR side, well, to me, there's a definition. What do you mean by top middle? Like, I mean, middle to me is this guy.
Is business development, and then it's
level that's what I'm saying. I'm not this guy
to close the contract.
I wouldn't have an AI follow up with this guy. I'm going to send him a message as soon as we get off and say, hey, yeah, here's kind of what this is all about.
Okay.
You know?
So you're a human at the top of the funnel where you didn't employ. Now, what if they say, no, I don't want to, I want to get back with you in 6 months. What would you do after that? What's the decision?
That's exactly where the BDR, that's where the AI for me comes in.
Correct.
Is if they engage, or even if they don't engage, it's like, now what I need to do is use, now that I've brought these people in, right? And every single one of these people, okay.
So you're now more of a nurturer after you make a human touch with an email that you wrote, or
well, here you go.
Look, you called.
There's 9 people, right? One of them replied, and I'll follow up with him, right? These other people, they need other messages, or I might want to have the AI look at these people, or I might want to have it go through and scrape these people and see, like, okay, are they actually ICP, right? Because in the beginning, I'm not going to go through 100 people and decide are they ICP or not. It's too much time. But once they've gone through here, because some of them fail for various reasons and other things. Now, these 9 people, I'm like, okay, let me look. IREX, Zydoc, Arima, whatever, managing at robotic marketer. Like, some of these people I might, because now there's like a little more reason to look at them. And because they're in Zoho, and so I can go look. Let's find like Militia, whatever.
That's different.
Melissa, but it's like a very strange spelling of Melissa, right? I don't want to say strange, very different. So, what was it? Hold on. I want to go contacts and wait, she should be in there. Oh, it's MELLI. Okay, let's just do that. Yeah, here we go. Haha, this is funny because you can see it had some of them when I first did it too, like messed that up. So I said, this is good to check it because I sent her like a bad note or whatever. So, but let's go. This is why you got to be careful in the start, So I need to double check this. And in any case, yeah, so I've got this information here, and it's like, all right, here's like the description of her stuff, like her headline. It pulls robotic marketer. Like, this is where I would want to say maybe you use AI to enrich, right? And because I have all the data, and again, I haven't gotten to this step, right? I haven't worked out, like, I'm like, okay, I'm only on, here's 9 people. I messaged them. I opened the door. I got them in here. And I'm like, all right, what do I want to do next? Because I could just automatically run a sequence, but it'd be much better to pull them in and then use the AI and say, hey, look, this person is like high ICP. I'm going to send them another message. This person doesn't meet ICP. I'm just going to jettison them or whatever it is, So that's why I'm saying I've got to work this out more. But to me, that's where the BDR plays. And that's why you have to have the integration to the CRM. If you don't have the data repository behind this, where you're like collecting all the data, what's the AI going to work with, Because you could definitely go out and use AI to find information. You can use all kinds of AIs to go scrape the web and get more information about Melissa and, do all this different stuff, Because that's the problem. If they don't respond to message 1, that doesn't mean by any means that they're not a good target, right? but should you send everybody just everybody a generic sequence, or do you say, hey,
on LinkedIn, how many messages are you sending to second connections before they say, hey, leave me alone? What's happening?
That's what I'm saying. I never get, almost never have. I don't send enough.
Yeah. You send at least 3 or 2, or what's your sequence look like?
No, I don't even get that far. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem, right?
Okay.
Because you can set up a sequence and have it send 3 messages, but that's not the way you should do it. The best way to go is send 1 message and then kind of look at it and say, hey, is this person really worth going after deeper?
Well, that's more
because
test message. That's true. You can just do 1.
Well, and here's the other thing is
you're doing more of a one touch campaign.
Yeah, and some of them fail for different reasons. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy doesn't have premium or whatever, so they get kind of weeded out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's like an initial filtration process. So you're like, hey, of 15, of those 245, by the time I get down to the end of it, I'm going to have 150 people that are kind of my bucket that I'm going to work. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need, like, with 100 people, if you work 100 people really well, like when I used to do marketing services for appointment setting, we would say, look, you need a target audience of like 300 to 400 people, and you work that audience really work through that audience. And as people fall out, you add people in, but you never want to have like 5,000 people that you're trying to work when you're doing that kind of targeted stuff, because it's too many. So when by the time I build this up, I'm like, hey, I want a really tight little niche of people here. I'm not trying to get thousands. I mean, if you want thousands, there's other ways to go after it.
Well, you're doing a different type of campaign. You're doing a test trial campaign of 1 touch only. Then you're cleaning up the data after that. Then you're doing maybe another touch in 3 months. You're not really.
No. 3 months? No, 3 days.
Okay, then you are doing a campaign. You just have a little. You don't have it pre-designed. You're doing.
No, I don't want to preset it.
You're not presetting it. You're playing it ad hoc as it happens, and then you react to it ad hoc.
Well, because I'm just trying to see what happens, right? Like I'm trying to, and then once I'm like, oh, hey, like now I see something that works, then I'm like, I can scale this up and
So,
yeah.
Okay.
No, because if you say, hey, I have a sequence of 5 emails I want to send to people, and I send them all, and they're total garbage, and nobody responds, and nothing happens, you're like, okay, that's not really the right way. You should send 1, see how that goes.
I'll give you an example of another tool that I used on a lifetime ago, 4 years ago, was DuxSoup, DUX Soup, and
same
kind of a similar approach that HubSpot did with email, but they were doing it within LinkedIn. And the focus was recommended from their best practices and standard operating practices is a sequence of connect first, follow, connect, and then after that, send a hi, how are you personal note. And then after that, if they bite, then follow up and then launch into a kind of a nurture campaign for them to give them information and eventually call for a coffee chat approach. Kind of, and if you do it enough with enough people, 200 or 300 people per week, it can develop into appointments, and some of them go nowhere, and some will go somewhere. It just depends but it's.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, signal driven though. It's not. It's signal driven a little bit, but not much. But generally, they would say the best practice is most people need to be tapped on the shoulder to talk to them at least 3 times, up to 7. Whether it's a phone call.
Yeah. No, that's like, that's common. That's the issue is like, how do you get to a meeting? Like, to me, that's the piece where it's like, okay, like, getting them into the funnel and finding the right people when you don't even really know what, like, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. It's really different if you say, hey, I have like.
What I've been designing with a couple different ideas on a couple different companies is Insights Engine. Rather than say, hey, I want to show you a demo of something really cool and sexy, and I want to do a demo review with you with this ABC company. I'm trying to really focus more on insights by developing kind of a pre-sales insights driven offering that helps them learn something about themselves where they have non-compliance or a lack of data or a lack of information, whatever it might be. It's mostly just to really help them come up with new information. Something may be broken they're not aware of. It's called the insights audit, and that's one approach.
I mean,
Another approach would be,
again,
and that's
you
that's
got
been
to.
away for free. You don't sell that, but it's a conversion of a Trojan horse to grab meetings and get to know them, and then get to find out the real pains that are not being discussed, and then you sell them whatever you have out of your bag. So it's a different approach with an insights engine. It's more about.
I mean, again, the end of the day with this is like going back to all your stuff. I'm like, you got to just come up with something and then get it in front of
I know that, but I'm talking about taking stuff I've done in the past. I've done both approaches mainly in the last 25 years in the past. I just haven't used an agentic AI agent before to do that. That does that on top of the funnel. I've done some of that on some tools that help automate things.
Yeah, that's what I said. I just, like I said, I just don't even really think. I think until you get down into the weeds and you are like, hey, I'm going to start.
Give me control of the. Let me show you something I'm going to talk to you about. 5 minutes, and after that,
but I think you should be able to just. You should, I think, be able to just like share your screen, man.
Okay. Can you see this 447 thing? Let me see.
No.
Grab that real fast. Got to go back to Zoom. Yeah. Oh, you're on my browser. Hang on for a second. Let's see, Chrome tab. There, I'll take this. Can you see this now?
It says, "Al, I have to add it to the scene." Here we go.
Oh, you have to add it?
Oh, I just did, and then it went away.
Try that.
Maybe share it again.
I'll do it again.
Here, there we go.
Okay. I gotta get back to that. And this is what I did for a LinkedIn posting recently in the last couple of days, but it's something I wanted to learn. I've been talking about orchestration with different off-the-shelf small tools to kind of cobble together, but I was also wanting to look at what's out there in the market. And the the last question there is the unit economics of growth. What are Fortune 1000s doing for human-led cost tracking? It's on the average for the software industry, and that's a lot of different subsectors around software. For a human being to do business development, to drive a marketing qualified lead is $447 versus if you do an AI agent, it could cost you $39 for a driven market qualified lead. And then the background of some background on the SaaS market. That's the metric out there in regard to the average, but it could range anywhere from 320 to 625 for a marketing qualified lead based on a variety of factors. And then a blended approach where you got both humans and AI agents work kind of together, then you can drive it down a little more toward 237, things like that. But and this is for Sorrent software development or for consulting services. The average lead for a marketing qualified lead is $595 per lead for humans to do that. And I won't go through the whole thing, but I wanted to talk to you about I wanted to look at who are the Cadillacs. If I had no money, money was no object, what could I get that really does the great? What are the top 10 players in the market that do this? These are the top 3 that are the Cadillacs in the Rolls Royces of the market. These are very sophisticated systems and they cost a lot per year. And some companies can afford this and some cannot, but these are the different ones. This is the next level up. You can go this way and look at that way for Apollo's in there. And it's still roughly $6K a year. Agent Frank, which I haven't looked at, and Apollo I've known about. These are the different groupings of what it costs per month, per year. You can bring it down to the monthly costs on the SaaS costs and operational costs. And this is kind of a snapshot what's out there. The one that's kind of leading me to think if I had no money was no object would be LeadLoft. And take a look at that. LeadLoft would be one, for example, which is $100 and $400. The other ones, have you heard of any of these in the last 3 years? Some like Agent Frank, have you?
Yeah, you're not showing that slide though. You're still just on your first slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was. Share this tab instead. Oh, okay. That's the problem. Can you see this now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just talking. So this is the second slide. Do you see that? It says software industry benchmarks. Yes, no?
Yeah. I see the benchmarks. Yeah.
Okay. The next slide is the human BDRs have an average sales cycle payback of 18 months, whereas the AI agent, the ramp is about 24 hours for paybacks if you get the lead from a marketing qualified lead at $39 per lead. And an AI agent can manage up to 1,000 leads per month, where humans do about 300 on the average, is a good example. And these are the different slides I had. I won't go through the whole thing. I'll just give you some slashes to look at. And this again was for a LinkedIn post that I did about 5 to 10 days ago. These are the different executive. Now, if you're a CEO of a company of a Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000, this is what you might want to look at in regard to what it does, what's unique about it, what's the annual OpEx cost if you bought this for your marketing and sales and business development population of the company. And this is more from a software focus for the software companies that focus on tools, as an example.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, okay,
And this
AI.
an infographic that kind of talks about the labor market of 18 months at a cost per lead is 447, and it's human with some automation, but on the other side is a logic model with AI BDR agents that can reduce the payback timeline as well as the cost from a cost point of view. And a lot of it comes down to what you do, whether you buy it off the shelf with a turnkey system or whether you cobble it or home grow it. And that's it in a nutshell. That's the slide I came up with that I put out there in the market. Now, if money is no object, if I were looking at money, I would probably look at let's go get Alice. Go get the Alice one. 11x. That's a little bit misspelled, but 11x AI is Alex, but it costs you on the annual basis about $120,000 if you can afford it. It's a full cycle replacement for human SDR headcount, so they can fire all those people and use this if they wanted to or chose to. It is the Rolls Royce of the players at the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you take one. I mean, okay, so you're like, I mean, I don't know how many. You're like, hey, I'm going to spend $100,000, and you're going to replace some salespeople.
Well, I mean, this is from the prism of a Fortune 1000 company that has to look at this data, because they're not going to do what you and I are trying to do, which is kind of homebrew it out of IT department to a large extent.
And I mean, the other thing is you get all these other data points where they're like, okay, where you hear, all these CEOs are saying, well, we actually haven't replaced anybody. I mean, you have these big sales organizations that, whatever, Salesforce, like, oh, I got getting rid of all my Salesforce because my sales people and replaced but the thing at the end of the day is like a lot of times salespeople just aren't actually they're just not producing anyway, right? And then companies go back and they realize, okay, like there's a certain subset of salespeople or whatever it is that are producing, and everybody else is just kind of covering their cost, right?
Yeah.
And
so
the
aggregate of 447 is primarily for the software industry, but if you went overall, any industry overall in the United States, the aggregate average is $262 per human generated lead from a marketing qualified lead.
See, I think there's pieces of the sales process, but it's just hard for me to imagine after my own experience of trying to see how this would work. And again, I'm trying to create sort of a new.
This is not related. This is out of scope. If money was no object, rather than you build it, you would buy probably the gold standard, which is Alice, and maybe Ava, or both.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think you might, right? I mean, or you would build something. I mean,
if you had a large population of marketing sellers and servicers of the account of the customer experience.
I mean, we should do a show where we actually look at these and we're like, are they actually working? Like, what do they actually do, right? I mean,
Yeah, I haven't
you
done
can
a deep dive. I haven't
I
done a
mean, you
deep
can
dive.
load up an agent with all of your product knowledge. And, there's definitely some areas where
We'll
you're
be
like, this is
doing
way better.
eventually a lot of this digging around on background. Um,
But
Lead
like
loft.
Apollo's
This is
not.
one, maybe if you can afford it, not you or anybody, but anybody can afford $400 a month that's running a business that's profitable and running. 400 is reasonable. It's reasonable for a stack of a CRM and AI agents in one visual window to reduce tool sprawl. Small companies of
You mean
maybe
for like a lead loft?
well, this is Lead Loft. I've got it on the Lead Loft. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it on. Share this tab instead. This is on Lead Loft. That's 400 a month.
Yeah.
That's
I
Lindy.
mean,
That's $50 a month. I never heard of that one, but I've heard of Lead Loft. Some of these
yeah.
I've worked with Apollo. Um,
But Apollo doesn't even have an AI component. They don't have AI. I mean,
yeah,
they have like pieces of AI, but like that, that's where I'm sort of like, we need to dig in, like what even is like an AI SDR? Like, what are these guys actually doing?
right. And you might find this interesting. Um, these are the average for humans. What it costs a human to do MQLs across different sectors. Like for consulting
Yeah.
services, like Serena would be 298 or Bears Dev 298, but it could go up to 425 on a range based
Well,
on
I
their
know that's why
offering.
Bears Down. They're like, hey, I'll pay you $300 if you just introduce me to somebody.
Yeah. And then you got the next one is going to be more more what it, now you're comparing the humans versus the AI agents and looking at cost. Now with a software, the cost goes up dramatically when you involve sales development activities where you're actually trying to promote product, feature, price, and you're looking at a cost for humans is almost $2,800 for software. And if you drive it down to awarded AI SDR for a point solution, it might be only 310 to complete that point solution contract. And some of what you're doing with your offering stuff, your website, what you showed me, kind of like our point solutions. Maybe it's worthwhile to do that with AI. So that gives you a different idea. That's that's more for the not the MQL, but the SQL. The SQL is $2,800. Labor on a legacy level, all human. If you go in with all AI, then you're going to drive it down toward closer to $310, for
Yeah.
example.
I mean, I just wonder if there's like a window of time where this all works, but then you're like, okay, let's say everybody gets AI SDR because I mean, sales is about I mean, some of it's about new markets, right? And
Yeah.
reducing friction, and some of it's about competition, right? If the competition has the same access to technology, then does it really work?
Activity because I'm trying to get. I just did that as kind of a more of a kind of a luxury because I don't know who the products were out there. So I did a market research comparison analysis of the products out there. That if you have money's no object, what can you buy in the market off the shelf from a turnkey system solution rather than cobbling? And that's why cobbling's attractive for solo entrepreneurs like yourself and other people, where they can spend maybe less than $300, maybe as little as $100 to have some agentic AI doing some top of the funnel or middle of the funnel work for them to take the load off of them from a time point of view. Because time is money as a solo entrepreneur. So that kind of gives you an idea. I'm just sharing this with you, not to, it's kind of outside of scope, but if you figure this out with what you're doing for yourself, there's a way for you maybe to market your offering with a wrapper to some extent to the market of other solo entrepreneurs is what I'm trying to tell you about. So what the market competition is. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely an interesting. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would like to help organizations. I don't really, but I don't know if I want to work with like solo. I'm not sure if I want to do solo entrepreneurs. But I like helping the guys at like Sorrent, for example. Like I think there's like larger organizations that need help understanding how AI like fits into their like sales process. Like I don't know. I'm sort of on the fence about whether you can just go out and buy like the SAI, SDR, BDR, and make it
Well,
work.
if you were gonna make a recommendation to Sorrent, I would. If they got the money, they have 800. They got close to $1 billion.
Well, no, they're not a good example. You know what I mean? But
Companies like them are, in the staff augmentation world, where staff augmentation is 50% of the or more of their revenue, they're very transactional and they do a lot of things kind of old school. But if they were to optimize either the top of the funnel or the middle of the funnel to do more for project-based sales, then they maybe can fly off the shelves with project-based sales for services for that type of revenue. That's recurring revenue, not just one-off revenue for 6 months to a year. So, how software companies make money and really drive their valuations is recurring revenue that comes through that comes from the contracts that last 3 years or more for outsourcing, out tasking, and managed services, labs on demand, things like that. That's what they're trying to accomplish, or any company like them that's trying to accomplish that in a way that's cost effective. So your secret sauce is now Zoho. You like Zoho rather than Apollo or HubSpot. You really think Zoho is the ticket?
I don't think Zoho is a secret sauce. What? Oh.
So when you say secret sauce, what are you actually saying? An approach or your approach to your use case?
I think that's just the tool selection, right? Like I think there's how would I say, like there's tool, like I mean any of these tools should work, right?
Yeah,
I mean or can work or whatever, and everybody's going to have these kind of different uh they're going to have different they're going to have like, I don't know, they're going to have like different, like, I don't know what you want to call it. Every company or organization is going to have a different way
eventually. Yeah,
they're right. Solving this.
The market will mature in the next 3 to 5 years, and it'll be amazing how many people have agentic tools, swarms of them. So it's
and the key pieces to me that are there that you've got to have the
but it has to use case how you want to approach a customer, either through a bot or through a human or both. It comes down to that as well. I think point solutions, and then what I mean by point solutions, they're less expensive. They do 1 or 2 tasks from the bottom up for an end user. I'll give you an example of what would be called a point solution back in the day. Dropbox, at one time when it first opened up their business, they sold from the bottom up to the end user. Then they eventually rose up to become an enterprise level seller. So it comes down to what kind of point solution you want to sell. Is it bottom up or top down? Most point solutions are bottom up. And maybe you can do that with bottom up. The sales tend to be POCs. They tend to be pilots, then POCs, then maybe small rollouts that eventually become enterprise rollouts. But the bots can probably do some of that on the top or the middle of the funnel.
See, that's the piece to me. That's what I'm like. I feel like there's pieces of the pie where you can like put things in place. Wow.
Yeah. And back to you're selling your packages off your website. Why don't you think about putting together when they go there a questionnaire or what are you thinking about driving them to identify they have a pain? Because not everybody wants to admit they're bad at LinkedIn. I didn't want to admit it till about a week ago. I believe I'm really bad at LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. I don't really know if I can. Like, to me, it's like
your customers admit they're not so good at LinkedIn. It's probably a better way to put it.
I just don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I need to.
Like, maybe a bot that interviews them a little bit, that Nova or that Signal.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I mean, if I can get a deal, if I can get what
I'm saying is if you can give them a report card how good they are on LinkedIn, either through scraping their
Yeah, but
activities.
that's not what I want to sell. That's not. No, I'm not trying to sell that.
No. It's free. You give them a gift for free
No,
that
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really want. I mean, that's what I'm just saying. Like, there's a.
why would you want? Why would I want to buy from? Why would me, as a CEO of a small company that makes 500 million a year, want to buy your?
Well,
Well,
500 million a year is not a small
that's much.
company.
Let's say 50 million. If I have a $50 million company, why would I want to hire your company to do the LinkedIn promotions for me?
No, I'm not. I'm not. That's not what I'm selling.
Well, bring that back up. Bring that back up briefly.
No, I'm just selling a package where I'm going to get on a call and I'm going to like, it's a $500 package where I'm going to jump on a call with them and interview them about their product. And then I'm going to produce content. It's just marketing. It's just a marketing.
We're going to do content marketing for them through interviews.
Yeah. And it's just like one off. It's just like, hey, I'll do for $500. Or if you want to do like be a quarterly sponsor on my show or whatever, then I'm going to do, and then I'll do like, whatever. Like, yeah,
Why
I
do
mean,
they know that they need you? It's probably a better question. How do they know that they're in pain and they need you when they have false pride about how good they are at LinkedIn as a company or as individuals?
no, that is, I mean, people pay for content. People just pay for influencers. There's a demand. There's a constant and insatiable demand for content and authentic content because you're like, you can't produce content about yourself and your product that is compelling. You need other people. You need other people. Yeah, you need other people who are not in your company to say, "Hey, this guy's good." And I have enough of a. I mean, I just looked at the market rates. And market rate for for 1,200 whatever 12,000 LinkedIn connections is like $500 to $1,000 per post. And like if you have a big network, you can charge. That's why I'm like, I don't really need to come up with any big creative complicated thing here. It's like, I'm just selling my ability to produce cool content. And that's why I wanted to produce a bunch of these shows and show the content. Because see what happens now is like the show that you and I just did.
Yeah.
It's trash, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like this is just trash. But I can take this and take the script and I can use AI and I can turn it into like gold, right? I can turn it into something great.
Yeah.
And really quickly. And I have some little bots.
Which is amazing to me. I really love that you do that.
No, that's it. I spent months working out how to do this in a way that I'm like, I can
you can do
produce
that with
more.
your clients that call you and have those sales discovery events where you can do the same thing with them.
Well, that's the whole point. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like saying, hey, you can get on a call like you and I just got on, and I'm going to really drill in because I can do that. I mean, look, I've built like 300 software solutions. I have the like analytical acumen to understand really complex business stuff really quickly. Like, I sat down with the head of real estate for Walmart and he asked me how he should spend $50 billion a year. And I'm like, here you go. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I can have that conversation with people in a really deep way, and it's going to bring out stuff that they just wouldn't get to themselves about and do it in an appreciative way. So that's what I'm selling. And to me, I'm like, hey, look, if I do one of these a week at $1,000, like I'm only going to do the 475 package for a little while. And then I'm going to be like, look, it's $1,000 a pop or whatever. And if I do one of these a week, I'm good, because the other thing is like, if I do that and because now my content's not just about me. It's about now every time I produce something, it's about other company. It's just, it's compounding. So yeah, that's it. I'm not trying to do anything complicated or, I'm trying to get to a reasonable, solid monthly income flow and then scale from there, but yeah. I don't need to go sell anything complicated. Yeah.
What is complicated to you when you talk about complicated?
Well, products and, like I just want to keep it simple. Like I'm going to interview you. I'm going to take that and turn it into, and I like to sit down and create cool stuff, so it's like, okay, I'm going to sit down. We're going to talk about stuff. I'm going to create something really cool and fun from what we talked about. And I have complete creative control and, that's it,
Yeah.
So, but this is the site that was kind of fun here. I got it back up now. This is the Signal one that I produced with Claude. This one is fun. I just don't know if people are going to really get it, you know?
You see it.
It took me a while, but I finally got it to work in, this got produced with Claude. It's kind of weird. It has 2 scroll bars, but whatever. I mean, there's just stuff to fix this, but I got it to work in Claude. I built this in Claude, and I managed to figure out how to get it into WordPress, and then I got it into Wix. But now I need to figure out how to add the bot back. It went away. So,
what does this do? Actually, this website. What is it selling?
Oh, this is just the 475. It's like it's like, oh man, I ran out of AI credits, and I was having so much fun like building cool AI stuff, but I can't do it anymore. So if you pay me, I'll use my AI credits to make you something fun, you know.
Right.
It's cool. I mean, it didn't take a lot of work to put it together and create this like sort of static page. But you can see it has it. I don't know. I got 2 scroll bars. I get annoyed by little stuff. But anyway, I better jump because I need to finish some things. But no, this is good. I mean, to me, for this show to make it work, I think we need to get other people on who are like building these things, and then have some kind of conversion right on the back end. So I'm gonna keep working on it, because this one I'd like to offer like, hey, look, you know, I'm getting pretty skilled at how this works, and I got all these other experts who are working in this space. And if you want us to help you and like look at your AI SDR or BDR, like, you know, we'll do a project for you.
Yeah.
You know, that would be fun. So
sounds cool.
Anyway, man, I'm gonna end the. Oh wait, I got to play the outro. Hold on, you ready?
I'm hanging out.
Anyway, there we go. All right, man.